every single day, there's tiny moments in your life, like you meet someone new, or you try something new, or you walk a different route to school, or some tiny insignificant moment in your life that happens every single day that is worth a story. Well, I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes just thinking about what to make a video on, like I need to tell a story to captivate the audience. Like, you're probably already uninterested in looking at the comment section. There are no stories that I can think of right now. I'm literally drawing blanks. But it hit me. I've been learning from Matthew Dix, which is like one of the best storytellers in the world, and reading his book. And it basically talks about how stories are the way that people connect with each other, learn from each other, and develop relationships. Every time you're at school or in university and your teacher starts the lesson with like facts and information, you just zone off and you lose interest and you stop like paying attention, right? But whenever the teacher starts with a story, automatically you're listening. Like, he's bringing you through the rise and fall of the story, the emotions he felt, like what happened, right? You want to know. And that's how we start to kind of relate to each other, but also learn from each other. So the biggest thing that I've learned recently is that the tiny insignificant moments in your life, the 5-second stories, are usually the ones that are the most impactful. They're the most relatable. It's not when, oh, I got hit by a truck and I was dying and bleeding on the road, but then I saw a light and the light saved me and now I'm here making a video, guys. No one can relate to that, right? You can't relate to that. What you can relate to is, oh, teacher called on me in class and I didn't know the answer and I didn't want to say something stupid, so I was just silent. The teacher asked me to come up to the whiteboard and show the answer, but I had no idea what to do and I was really embarrassed and my friends laughed at me. Whatever. It's the tiny moments, the insignificant, non-life-threatening moments that people relate to. And I realize how many of them I forget. You know, it's crazy that we say, as you get older, life gets shorter. Time seems to pass by faster. I disagree. I feel like when you're 3, 4, 5 years old, right, for example, that's when life seems to feel the longest, as people say. Well, number one, you have less stimulation, so you weren't on Instagram every day, right? Scrolling and scrolling. But also, every moment was something to be remembered. Everything was new. Every time you tried a new fruit, every time you tried a new food, every time you went to bed 10 minutes later because your dad forgot to tell you to go to bed and you just watched TV with him, that's a significant moment to you. We remember the more insignificant, tiny moments. But nowadays we forget them. Our brain zones them out. You don't even remember like half of your day today, right? And I find that crazy because, of course, 365 days passes by like this when you can only remember 80 of them, 90 of them, right? And obviously that's natural. You can say like, oh yeah, as you get older, you're not meant to remember every little detail about your life, sure. But I feel like at least if you're so worried about time passing by so fast and, oh my gosh, life is passing by so fast, life is flashing before my eyes, how do I slow down time? You want to slow down time? Actually remember your life you're living. I can't even remember. This morning I woke up, I went to school, I feel like I zoned out. I had fun with friends a little bit, I paid attention, like I did some homework. That's about it. I did some classwork. I can't remember the tiny moments. If I try right now, okay, I was in science class and it was just me and this girl in a wheelchair, and the girl didn't really have anyone to bring her to the next class, so I got to kind of steer her with the wheelchair to the lift, and I got to take the lift with her, and I had to pretend that I was injured, but I wasn't injured, so I had to help her carry her bag so I wouldn't get in trouble for taking the lift. Little things like that, even that, you can make that a story, right? A story that might have a lesson, might not have a lesson, but regardless, a story is a story, and they're so precious, especially to you and me in our lives. Look at AI. AI is coming up to steal our jobs now, right? AI can do so many things that better than humans can. You know what AI will never be able to take away from us? It's pure, authentic experiences and stories, right? I feel like that's why YouTube is so valuable nowadays, or it's going to become increasingly valuable to build a personal brand through YouTube like this. You're getting to know me right now. It's because in the future, when AI is like crazy advanced and takes our jobs and stuff, it will never be able to replace human connection. Human connection. And how do we build human connection? It's not by me telling you top 5 ways to develop your social skills, guys. Top 5 ways to be more disciplined, guys. No, it's going to be through the stories I tell, the vulnerable stories that I tell. And if I'm going to tell vulnerable stories, I have to remember them in the first place, right? So I'm really trying hard to work on this and to actually get stories to tell, stories to remember. Because I've been doing this thing called homework for life, which is basically I write down, before I go to bed, I force myself to write down a small insignificant moment from the day. Just one. I haven't been disciplined, I haven't been sticking to it, but when I did, that week or two every single day before bed, I would write down like tiny moment. I was waiting for the bathroom. I had to pee really badly, but this disabled guy took a long time. I don't know, whatever it may be. I was waiting on my alarm didn't ring. I was late to school today, but my parents were still asleep. They didn't notice. Anything. It can be so stupid. But these little moments, you start to look for them. I held the door for an old lady today. She didn't smile at me, but it taught me that, oh, you need to do good things even if people aren't grateful for you. Whatever it may be, right? So I find that when I do that, there's 10, 20 little moments that I'm like, dang, that would make a good story. Dang, that would make a good memory. And I just forget it. Your brain just forgets it. Because your brain is, it's not meant to remember all these stories compared to like your more significant ones. And also like social media, all that, you're barely present half the day. You're not even in the present moment. You're thinking about the past, you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about what you're gonna have for dinner, what you should text that girl next, whatever, right? You're thinking about all these things except being here. Look how beautiful this place is, bro. Oh my gosh. When you're a child, it's so easy to be present because you have less distractions, you have less past to think about, you have less future to be aware of. But now that all these things just rob our, I don't know, brain points, brain power, we don't have enough brain power dedicated left to just be here. Be here, in the moment. Because that's all you have, really. It's all you actually have. You've never made a memory in the future or the past. You've never made a friend in the future or the past. And like, if you really think about it, if you do surrender your presence for something as fickle as thinking about the past or the future or worrying about something, you're basically giving up your life. What is your life, right? Time and energy. And at the end of your life, all you have is memories, so go make some. Because if you're busy, stuck thinking in your head, like you don't even make any memories, right? Think about a time that you felt the most loved, the most fulfilled. Maybe you were with your family, maybe you're hugging your mom, maybe you were playing at the playground when you were younger, whatever it may be. I don't think for sure, like, you cannot tell me any thoughts were in your head when you felt purely loved and fulfilled and joyful. There were no thoughts in your head. Why? Because you were here in the present moment. So be here as I speak right now, because I know you checked the comments. You looked at the suggested videos on the left, the right. Right? Train yourself to be present, and you'll find that life starts to feel a little longer, but not only that, it starts to feel a little more boring. Boredom is scary, right? I've seen an experiment where it said boredom was one of the scariest or one of the least desired emotions possible, like the most painful emotions possible. People would rather like tase themselves with like a, what do you call it? Like electric shock than to be bored and sit in a room waiting for 20 minutes. That was an actual experiment. People would rather feel pain than to be bored. And honestly, I relate to that. I know I buzz myself as well, like, so it's kind of crazy. Boredom is scary, but boredom is where our best ideas happen. Boredom is where we find ourselves, in solitude, like this. There's no one here. When I'm just like thinking, I'm not talking to any friends around me or talking to anyone. I mean, I'm talking to you. But honestly, this is kind of a therapy for me as well, to bounce ideas off of myself. It's kind of sad. I'm just talking to myself. But I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to you, right? When you feel like you have no direction in life, when you feel like your path is clouded and you don't know where the heck you're going, that's normal. But if you don't know what the heck you want, that's also normal, but that's something you can control. Your path, what's going to happen tomorrow, you can't control that. But you can control understanding what you truly want. And you can only find that in the presence of yourself and God. Not around your friends telling you what you want to do or what you should do or what if you don't do this or wouldn't it be cool if you did this? Wouldn't it be cool if you went to this uni or not that uni? And not in the presence of asking advice from others, right? Be in solitude. Solitude is the key. Anyway, if you want to hear more from a 17-year-old trying to figure out life, subscribe. It's a win-win for both of us. As always, get after it.